Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Destination Next, a series of programs in which you will explore new and exciting places around the Greater Toronto area. I'm your host Bilal Tahir, but I'm not the only one on this exciting journey. With me, I have my fellow explorers.
And you are watching Destination Next.
A new destination, what fascination. We'll go exploring a new creation. See to feel our travel around the world. See to feel our travel around the world. So here we go, a new destination. Some inspiration, a little agitation. More complication, we'll push our minds for some formulation. We'll go exploring a new destination. Destination Next.
In this show, us kids will travel around the GTA to learn about the environment that surrounds us. Exploring is promoted in the Jamaat because in the Holy Quran, Allah had laid great emphasis on traveling. Say, travel in the earth and see how He originated the creation. Then will Allah provide the latter creation. Surely, Allah has power over all things.
Previously on Destination Next.
So by shaking that tail, they're warning. They're saying, I'm venomous. You want to get away from me. So iguanas tend to get really, really big, just like this one that you see here. So we have two alligators here at Reptilia. So this is one of the bird's closest living relatives. So they are descended from the dinosaurs, the birds, and they share an ancestor with the dinosaurs. So we have Toothless and Lou. This one here, that's the girl, her name is Toothless. And you guys were asking how they hunt. They are sit and wait predators as well. They're very stealthy and very sneaky. So, see how still she's sitting? If she was out in the wild and she was ready to hunt, she'd put her head just a little bit above the water. Her eyes sit right on the top of her head. Her nose sits right on top of her head. So if she's sneaking up, swimming along a swamp, you will barely even see her. Now, she doesn't hunt people, but she would hunt other things. Maybe some mammals that are coming to the edge of the water to drink, or ducks that were swimming across.
Can she still bite us?
Can she still bite us? She has a mouth, so she certainly can. So when our keepers go in there, we've actually worked with them and trained them. They're really, really, really smart. So they know if one of our keepers is going in, they know to go up on the dock and wait for their food. Or if we ask them to go into the water because maybe we have to clean, they listen to those commands as well.
What is the thing by the tail? Like some weird rock thing there?
That's how we drain the water.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, there's little drains for the water, so when we go to clean the exhibit, we're not in there with buckets shoveling water out, because that's how we get eaten by alligators.
I was wondering.
Yep.
Why are some of his fingers
Good observation. So they're just naturally born without an extra claw. Yeah, so she's getting a better look at us. When she's underwater, she has a special eyelid that helps her see, but it's clear. So it's not as easy to see with that eyelid, but so by popping her head up, she can get a better look at us.
I thought she thought we were prey for a second.
No, she knows very well. Lou and Toothless have been here for a little over 10 years, so they grow pretty quickly. And you can see he's a little bit chunkier than she is, and that's because he's a boy. So we said the snakes, some of the snakes, the girls are bigger. In alligators, the boys are bigger because they have to fight for territory. If there's an area that they think is really good, has lots of food, has great places to breed, they're gonna fight other males. So she's coming over to say hi to him. You guys wanna take a couple steps back and get a good shot of them? And they're actually very cuddly with each other. Now, while we don't think of alligators and crocodiles as being, really kind of having those human emotions and feelings, sometimes you'll see them sitting beside each other, or sometimes they blow bubbles at each other through their nose, and that's just telling each other that they really love each other. Isn't that cool?
What are the things hanging from the ceiling?
Decorations. So see how they're kind of walking by each other going, all's good. They're very inquisitive. So that means that they're looking at us and they're wondering what we're up to.
Word of the day.
Are there some endangered animals and some endangered reptiles in here?
There are. So because we function as a rescue and a conservation center, we do have some animals that are endangered out in the wild. And the reason they're here at Reptilia is because in the future, we may not see these animals ever again in the wild. So by having them here, we can actually breed them and try to re-release them out into nature to eventually make sure that they survive. These guys here are called sulcata tortoises, or African spurred tortoises. And you can see that they're pretty big, right? Yeah. So they're actually still really young. We can consider them babies. They are only about 10 years old. Yes. You got it. A lot of people get pets and they don't really understand what they're getting into. So they'll buy a little sulcata that's about the size of a golf ball, a really, really tiny little turtle, very cute. And in only about 5 or 6 years, they're gonna get to be about that size. But they can live to be almost 200 years old, usually 100 to 150. So here in Ontario, we have so many good places to go camping and hiking. And you'll see a lot of different reptiles when you do. But you have to go early in the morning when the sun's coming out, because reptiles are what? They're cold-blooded. Yeah, or ectothermic. They get their heat from the outside. So these are some of the reptiles you'll see here in Ontario. A Blanding's turtle and wood turtles. We have 8 different species of turtle in Ontario, and unfortunately all of them are endangered. So the ones that are here, people accidentally took them home. They weren't sure that they could or couldn't. They did, and that's how they ended up at Reptilia. They're still really young, so in about 15 years when they can start laying eggs, they're actually going to be used in a program where we can re-release turtles out in the wild. I know, I get excited about it too. They're very cute though.
But when are you gonna release them?
Well, it's going to take 15 years to start making babies, so it takes a long time because they live a long time. Yeah, they're not ready yet.
What's that sound?
All right, guys, so over here, these are our Nile crocodiles. The big boy that you see at the front, his name is Induna, and he is actually Canada's largest crocodile. He's about 54 years old, and he's about 14 feet long.
He's like my dad's age.
He's like your dad's age. Is he as big as your dad?
How old is he?
Nah, he's bigger, right? He's 54. So these guys come from South Africa. They live on the Nile River, and if you look up, you'll see the crate that they came from. That's the crate they traveled in from South Africa. We have a friend down there who has a farm, and that farm has helped bring them back from the brink of extinction. All right, guys, let's go take a look at some animals up close and personal. We're going to go into the theater right here. All right, guys. So one of my favorite things about working at Reptilia is being able to share some of these stories with you guys. And this is my absolute favorite story. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So this is called a crested gecko, an eyelash crested gecko. Because on the top of his eyes, he almost looks like he has little hairs. They're like little scales that look like eyelashes. So these geckos come all the way from a place called New Caledonia. Have you heard of that place before?
No.
No, it's a little tiny island off of the coast of the Pacific. So it's not a place a lot of people have heard of. So a long time ago, over 200 years ago, explorers actually went out and they were looking for different things. What do you think explorers were looking for when they got on their boats? They were looking for treasure. What else?
Other creatures?
Other creatures, so maybe animals they could farm and bring back home.
More land?
More land, yes. They were looking for areas and land. And anything else? That's probably about what they were looking for. Maybe spices that they could bring back to trade, because that was a really valuable thing. And they brought interesting people with them on these trips, because they could get really boring. They were trips where they were out there for 6, 7, 8, 9 months of the year out in the sea. So they brought scientists with them. And these scientists knew a lot about animals, and they spent their time collecting and information on different animals. So when the explorers got to New Caledonia, they found these little geckos. So they didn't have phones, they didn't have cameras, so they had to draw pictures of them. So we know that over 200 years ago, they discovered the crested gecko. Now, when I was about your age, scientists went back to look for these animals, and they couldn't find them anywhere. What is it called when we can't find an animal anywhere on the planet?
Probably extinction.
You got it. We thought they were extinct. So the scientists went out and they did research. They were out in the forests and the jungles looking for the animals, looking for these little crested geckos, and they had no luck. They spent weeks and weeks out there. And then on one of the last days that they were there, they thought, you know what, let's keep searching, let's go out at night. So they went out at night, and they actually climbed up to a really, really high elevation where there's really tall trees, and there they found, high up in the trees, little crested geckos. They were hiding. They're nocturnal, and they're really good at camouflage. They look almost like a leaf. So imagine if you're looking for them, and they're sitting nice and still, just like that while he's wiggling, but they're sitting nice and still, you can't spot them absolutely anywhere.
Can you make it like change color?
Well, that's a good question. So they camouflage, but that doesn't mean that they change colors. Camouflage just means blending in. So by looking like a leaf, he's blending right in. He's camouflaging. Well, he doesn't change his colors or his spots. He's adapted to the environment he comes from. He does look a little bit like the wall. Maybe the leaves are kind of a brownish color out in nature. So very, very similar. So what I'm going to get you guys to do is you're going to put out one hand nice and flat, like a tree. And you're going to keep your hand nice and still. I'll give you guys a chance to hold him.
I don't know if I want
This one, his name is Sticky. And that's because he's got little sticky feet. And as you're holding him, you'll feel those sticky pads. It's okay, you don't have to.
I'm good. It feels slimy. I'll do it.
So a lot of people think that reptiles are going to be wet and slimy and gross, but they're not. They're completely smooth and dry. You want to try as well?
Can I be
Nice and flat, like a picnic table. There you go. Very nice. Stay nice and still. Let's get a good shot. Perfect. He is cute, isn't he?
And
it's very soft.
fluffy and soft.
That's okay. Nice and flat. Like a picnic
Fluffy and
table.
soft. How does he feel?
There you
I'll
go.
hold him again.
Just one. We've got another animal I'm going to bring out.
Is it the crocodile or alligator?
There you go, guys. Good stuff. Do you guys have any questions for Sticky the gecko?
Are they like He's just too fluffy. What's the size they grow up to?
That's it. This is as big as they get. This is an adult.
How big are they when they're born?
When they're born, they're really cute. They're very tiny. They're about this big, maybe 2 or 3 centimeters.
It's pretty. Oh, 2 or 3.
Yeah, they're little. They're little. They grow nice and big. So her name is Sticky because she's a really good climber. She can actually climb straight up walls. If this was glass, she'd have no problem going up. Yeah, they're little ninjas. I love it. Awesome, guys. Yeah.
Well, I want to ask her.
Okay, you have a question to ask Sticky the gecko. Go ahead.
What's it like to be a gecko?
It's great. It's pretty good to be a gecko.
What's that sound? Alligator.
Okay, so this is a ball python. Her name is Monty, and they're one of the most common pet snakes on the planet. So the reason we have Monty here is because people sometimes don't really realize how long they can live. She can live to be 30 or 40 years old. Not something
How old is
everybody is always comfortable keeping. So she is about 11 right now, so she's still young. She's going to live quite a lot longer, but they are very gentle snakes. They're not venomous or poisonous. They're constrictors, so they squeeze their food, and they like to eat little things like mice and rats. Now, when they get scared, what do you guys think they do?
Run away?
Run away? Definitely they like to run away, and if they can't run away?
Curl up into the ball.
You got it. They curl up into a little tiny ball.
Is that why they're called balls?
No. You got it. They're called ball pythons because they curl up tight into a little ball, tuck their heads in the middle, and then they hide from the world if they're scared. Monty's really, really relaxed, so she's hanging out with us with her little tongue flicking out, and people think sometimes that their tongue can be dangerous or poisonous. What do you guys think?
No.
No, not at all. It's just like our
it tickle?
tongue. It does tickle a little bit. It's just like our tongue. It's for smelling the world around them. So if you guys would like, you are welcome to pet Monty. She is very, very soft, and she is not slimy at all.
Slimy, sort of plastic.
Yeah, very smooth, right? It feels almost a little bit cold. Now, if you don't want to touch a snake, that's okay. Touch your fingernails. It's the exact same material as our fingernails.
It starts with a K, right?
It's called keratin. You got it. There you go. Perfect. What's that? That's it, guys. We're done. Do you guys have any questions for Monty before she heads out for the day? Yes.
What's it like being a snake?
What's it like being a snake? I would say pretty good. You eat once every 2 weeks. Not a lot of food, which is good. Yeah, she doesn't have to worry. It's pretty good, I would say.
Yeah. What does Monty have to say?
I don't know. What do you have to say, Monty?
I
Nothing. Snakes don't really say a lot of things.
Geckos do.
But geckos do.
Don't they make any sounds?
They can. They make hissing and puffing sounds when they're upset. But for the most part, no, they really don't. They communicate by sense of smell more than anything. Yeah.
Thank you, Sam, for teaching us about reptiles.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for joining us today.
Join us again on
Destination Next! Khudafis!
Next time on Destination Next.
Wow, isn't it really cold?
Now this is what I've been waiting for.
But the one unique thing that Islam brought was calligraphy, particularly Arabic calligraphy.
Jazakallah for watching. We hope that you liked our episode today. You can also get creative and share with us your pictures and drawings for a chance to win Destination Next souvenir. Also, tell us where you'd like to explore next on Twitter and Instagram at MTA Canada. We look forward to hearing from you.
A new destination, what fascination. We'll go exploring a new creation. See to feel art, travel around the world. See to feel art, travel around the world. So here we go, a new destination, some inspiration, a little agitation, what complication. We'll push our minds for some formulation. We'll go exploring a new destination. Destination Next.